Right now by Adrian Pruden, the president of the Airdrie Oilman's Association, and I guess you'd pretty much call him chief cook and bottle washer for the Airdrie Oilman's Bikes and Bulls Rumble on the Runway event. Adrian, how has COVID been to be an event organizer?
Oh my God, I don't even know where to start. Normally with this event, which is our 10th year doing this event, normally we have about 6 to 8 months to prepare for this, but with restrictions being lifted July 1st, it literally came together in 6 weeks, which was no easy feat with a 3.5 acre beer garden and camping area, and of course all the tents, the stages, everything like that. So we had a great response from our volunteers. Our association, I mean, obviously we can't do this without them. A lot of planning's gone into, in the short time frame that we had, and we managed to pull it off, and I think we pulled off a pretty successful event and pretty good attendance. The weather was great day one. We were still nice and hot and muggy, but we had that smoke from BC came in. But yeah, overall I'm pretty happy. We got Calgary Harley Davidson here today, bringing out the drag bikes, live wires, and having some fun on the track, and still running some cars too. So yeah, 3 o'clock today is when we're ending, and then it's a tear down of this beast. And yeah, hopefully all these drivers and riders are going to stick around and help take down the fences.
And that is the beautiful thing about this event. I was explaining to some of the other people that I've been interviewing today that one of my favorite aspects of this event is the three families that it brings together: motorcycle and drag racing and bull riding. So when you look at the farm community, you look at the drag racing community, and you look at the motorcycle community, they're all centered on family. And when you pull all three of them together, the sense of family, even though you're all different sports, is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, it's a dynamic you don't get to see very often. Cowboy hats next to leather chaps, and bike helmets, and it's good. I mean, when we started this event back in 2011, we had a group of guys in our committee that wanted to do a motorcycle event, and the other group wanted to do a bull riding event. We said, let's do them together and see what happens. And here we are a decade later, and it's been getting bigger and better. Obviously, we had our move from the Airdrie Rodeo grounds out here to the airport, which we got 640 acres to play with, so it's pretty good.
It is, and then you've got the Honda Junior Red Riders out here and teaching the littles, and the mutton busting for the littles on the other side of the coin, and then on the racetrack you've even got the little go-karts and stuff for the kids. And I think that's the beautiful thing about the three sports, bringing them together, is how you can bring your children and your elders into the circle, and there's something for everybody.
Oh yeah, no, it's I see the rodeo crowd comes in. We must have had a couple thousand sitting out there watching the rodeo games, and of course the kids behind us are the Red Riders. They're great. They've done a phenomenal job. I don't know how many kids they've run through that gate here this weekend, but I mean they're still going strong right till 3 o'clock. And
they've never stopped. I mean those bikes have been busy, steady.
Yeah.
The other thing that I really enjoy about this event is the venue itself, the way it's laid out. You can walk in, go to the beer gardens, buy your beer at the bar, and then just walk around everywhere. You don't have to leave the beer gardens to actually participate.
Yeah, you get your 10,000 steps in, that's for sure. I think I broke my Fitbit today, but it's not around the wrist anymore. But, yeah, I mean, we've got a 3-acre beer garden, so it's all of our vendors, all the food trucks, the bar, the bull riding, the car and bike show and shine, everything is inside the actual beer garden. So it makes for easy access, and of course you're looking right at you're 100 feet from the track.
Yeah.
If that, so yeah, it's a pretty good deal.
Next year, I hear rumors about bigger, better things potentially.
Who'd you hear that from?
I've heard from 3-4 different sources now, and I don't want to divulge my sources, of course.
Fair enough.
But I've heard that you guys are already starting in talks with different organizations to raise the roof on this thing to the next level.
Yeah, we've got a few things here that could turn this into one hell of a rally. Of course, I think one of our biggest challenges we have this year, and every year we do this event, every event we do as the Oilmans is 100% sponsored. So we've got to raise that capital too. And this is not with the footprint it is not a cheap event to pull off. So luckily for us, we've got a great group of sponsors, a lot of new ones on board this year, which we're ecstatic that they came in, able to pull the event off this year in such short notice. We've got a couple of really big things that we're talking about. We'll see if they come to fruition. I don't want to jinx or negatively influence that in any kind of way, but I think we're once we get through COVID, and I think some of our larger sponsors are a little bit more, from an optics standpoint, a little bit more
willing to be out there.
I think we'll probably be able to go higher.
Fort McMurray Wood Buffalo, where life takes shape.
One final question for you. I heard a little bit about how this event supports your community. And what is the need this year compared to years gone by?
Well, the need this year is extremely high. We've had a lot, the three charities we support, the North Rocky View Community Links, the Airdrie Food Bank, and Adrian District Victims Assistance Society now. A couple of them have been able to get some kind of funding, but one of them got some funding, but the other two are struggling huge. And of course, with COVID going on, just the economics, people losing their jobs. We spoke to sponsors this year. They said, we'd love to participate, but we need to keep our people, and then that's 100%. So yeah, it's been a challenge. We're hoping that we're through this mess, and nothing. We don't have any kind of spikes or anything like that. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and you had one little hiccup because of COVID, which was trying to get insurance. That was a big, big challenge. And you had a brand new sponsor come on that literally spent hours and hours on the phone and holding people's hands to get you insurance. Let's talk about that, because that's community, man.
Dan Avon at AIM Insurance came through for us here literally, I'd say probably 3-4 days previous to the event kicking off. We had a insurance company we've been dealing with for years that got acquired by our larger group, and you know, I'm just glad that we got the introduction to Dan, and happy to have them as a part of this event, because you know, we needed insurance. So it's, but he's done a phenomenal job and come on as a sponsor as well, and we're greatly thankful to him and every one of our sponsors. Again, like we've got Ellis Dawn, All Fits Auto, Guns and Hoses. We had Tail Gunner Brewing Company out this weekend.
Cam Clark.
Cam Clark. I mean, you can just see all of the banners all over the place. Your Turf, Pentagon Freight, Prime Communications, Comfort Inn in Airdrie has been huge for us over the years. They've been our host hotel, and I understand they had 30-40 bikes in front of their hotel, so I'm glad that it's working out for them as well and getting the business. So great stuff. Shona Karras and her crew over there are phenomenal to deal with, and they help us out all the way.
And then you have some other sponsors like Blackjacks Roadhouse in Nisku, giving you some billboard space.
Blackjacks, you know, I haven't gotten up there recently just because of COVID and whatnot, but I got to get up there and see Clarence and team, and to get one of those bike nights under my belt. So yeah, they're a great group, and I really thank them for putting that banner up on their electronic billboard. I think, what was it, 135,000 views a day or something like that?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so that's stuff like that's immense, and huge thank you to Blackjacks.
And one last question for you. When are you going to spend some time with your wife? That was a question I was asked on a personal level.
Not by her. She loves it when I get out. Yeah, I don't know. We got teardown that we got to do literally in about 2 hour and a half, and 3,000 feet of fence and all kinds of stuff. So I don't know. Probably next week sometime. We'll see how it goes.
Well, thank you very much, Adrian, for your time today. Thank you for all you do for our community. And for anybody looking for the Airdrie Oilmen's Association, you'll find them at aoaalberta.com. Go and check them out, the Alberta Oilmen's Association.
Membership drive will be starting in a month.
And I got told yesterday, after selling $1,500 in merch, I'm now a new member.
There you go.
Thank you again, Adrian. It's been awesome.
Thanks, Renee.
You may be from Alberta, but have you really seen Alberta? With its vast vistas and stunning locale, get acquainted with what Alberta has to offer by experiencing Alberta through the eyes of a tourist.
I'm being joined by two gentlemen from a company called Tail Gunner. What does that mean exactly?
Tail Gunner is actually in reference to my grandfather who fought in World War II. He was a tail gunner on a Lancaster bomber. Unfortunately, the bomber was shot down on their fourth mission. His whole crew died except for him. And anyway, he made it, obviously, or I wouldn't be here. But you know, incredible story of bravery and sacrifice, you know, that we felt was a good core story for our company, and we kind of built all out from there hoping that people would, it spark some interest and people would remember, their own family stories from around that period of time, because World War II was a big deal and it affected everyone. So.
Absolutely. Now, you guys did a special beer for Adrian and the guys from the AOA. Tell me about this one. It's the Bikes and Bulls Lager.
Yeah, for sure. For the event here, Adrian was kind enough to invite us out for the weekend. And he asked if we could do a custom label for us. So we jumped on that, and we actually did a label in our Czech Pilsner, who was named after Lyndon Stevenson, who was the tail gunner in the core of our branding. So it worked out really good, and we had a fabulous time this weekend, and it was sure nice to get our name out there and our brand out there and sell some beer.
Well, it's very interesting from my perspective, because as the Canadian Motorcycle Tourism Association's executive director, we're actually building a project in Grande, Prairie, Alberta called Veterans Memorial Gardens and Interpretive Center.
Excellent.
And it has its own commercial kitchen and a facility to host events at. So I think Tail Gunner and I have to have a talk on a more professional level.
Absolutely. We would love to. We'd love to, absolutely.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So there's all kinds of wonderful connections with the military that have come out in the last number of years when it comes to beverages. You've got Black Rifle Coffee Company and all of these different organizations coming out that are doing these things to remember service and sacrifice. So tell me a bit about the idea behind service and sacrifice as it relates to your own company.
Yeah, so for Mike and I, we really touched on it when we were explaining the name Tail Gunner. And for us, obviously, we wanted to pay homage and tribute to Mike's grandfather and his crew and everyone that really served in the Second World War. But on top of that, it was more so about modeling our culture around the greatest generation. We feel strongly that that is just that, the greatest generation, and that the sacrifice and bravery, not only on the front of the Second World War, but also what happened here in Canada, the US, and really the Allied forces. Everybody gave up their hopes and dreams, gave up opportunity, gave up family heirlooms to be melted down and smelted and forged into weapons, from Mike's grandmother working at the Ajax factory, making all the ammunitions for the Second World War, to my grandmother going without, and everybody sacrificing what they could. So for us, we really feel there's a great opportunity here with Tail Gunners that we can have exposure with that type of culture. We feel that we have a timeless brand, and we want people to really encompass that and come to our beer hall. We're not going to have a bunch of televisions on or anything like that. We're going to have some live music, but really want to have more of that in the world right now, which we think is sorely lacking, with a sense of community and quality behind a product and an engagement with the community and giving back. So for us, that's kind of all encompassing for that whole culture with the greatest generation.
It has become a social enterprise then.
Yeah, absolutely it is. Yeah, we're really pressing hard to make sure that we feel we have something special here, and we have a good, a different type of business model as opposed to our competitors. So we feel that maybe if it's a punk rock theme or something like that, it's going to get tired and stale, or an 80s retro theme in a few years from now. But for us, we're
service and sacrifice
that's
is
it.
Timeless.
Yeah, and heart on our sleeve type of guys, and we want that certainly come through in Tail Gunner Brewing Company.
And so who does the actual brewing? Who is the person behind the hops and malts that makes things magic?
Blake and Mark, incredible guy. We were very lucky. He was first in our list when we were looking for brewmasters, and we knew we had a strong brand, all that stuff, but if the beer is not good, then what's the point? So we wanted not just to have good beer, we wanted great beer, and we found this guy, and what a wonderful human being. He's about 10 years younger than us, maybe more, but really has mastery in his arena, and brews lagers, which we're very lager centric, which is, lagers are lighter, easier to drink, very difficult to make. You can hide behind the IPAs and some of these other beers. You can't hide behind lagers, and Blake is just happy being right there in the middle of it and brews an incredible beer. We're totally aligned with the guy. We got very, very lucky, I think, at the beginning. Sometimes you need that, in business and in life, for things to work. You need a little luck sometimes, and I think Blake's signing on with us, and it's just been incredible. He's such a great guy. Wish he was here.
Well, the interesting thing that I caught in the conversation was something about a beer hall. Explain this.
Yeah, so Mike and I, we managed to get our building in Calgary, Alberta, in the Sun Alta community, and we got the building in place, and everything fell into place around October, November of 2019. And we were really excited. We actually have a couple of construction companies together, and we kind of modeled out the floor space and got the demolition underway. And Mike and I were building the entire place out together, and then COVID hit. And we thought at first that, well, we got 6 weeks here. How fantastic! We can really put our heads down, and we can't go do anything anyways. So we're going to focus on constructing beer halls. So 6 weeks, 3 months, 18 months later, we're about halfway through construction. But the nice thing is that we put everything into our branding and procuring our equipment so we could brew our beer and get it out into the vendors throughout Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba to begin with. As it stands right now, we're targeting November to have our beer hall open. We're really excited. We're going to have an upper area and a traditional beer hall, some long tables, and a beautiful south-facing patio right in the community of Sun Alta. So, and in November we'll have capacity for about 200. We got a nice food service program coming up with some friends of ours. So, yeah, it's happening and it's real and tangible now. So
that's the most rewarding time in any business, is watching all of the pieces you've dreamed about starting to click into place.
It really is, and that's so funny. I mean, people always look at our opinion anyways, the end goal, and they lose sight of the day by day and the enjoyment of, it's the old cliche saying, you don't know you're in the good old days while you're in them, right?
Yeah.
And there's been some rough weeks and some hard times, but Mike and I have known each other and been brothers really since we were about 5 years old, and there's that trust and alignment there. So to have a guy like this to be able to go through the trenches and the wars and the tough days and the upsetting stuff, I feel pretty lucky that we can always lean on each other, we can always be honest with each other, and get through some of the BS that I think other partnerships don't make it because of it, right? So.
Well, and I think when you think about it from the military perspective, most people that are in the military understand that the guy beside you is equally as important as you are. You guys are two pieces of equipment in the same cog, and you got to keep moving, right?
Yeah.
And so a partnership has to be run that way.
100%. It's important for being stewards of the culture that we created, and people, I feel get inspired with that when they see that the leadership has a clear vision, clear direction, and we say what we mean and we do what we say, and the rest just kind of falls into place. But absolutely agree, without that foundation at the beginning, nothing's going to really be what it should.
Well, it sounds to me like Tail Gunner is going to be one of those brewing companies that we're going to need to keep tabs on over the next year and watch how you guys grow and watch how things shift. I know that every person here this weekend is enjoying your beers. When I look at the cooler that they had and I see how little you're actually taking back, that's a pretty good indication people were enjoying your beverages.
Thank you so much. I mean, we were, and hats off to Adrian and his team here for Bikes and Bowls, Rumble on the Runway. They put this together in less than a month, and to have this sort of turnout on top of the advisory with the weather, on top of the still worries about the pandemic and the COVID and everything else, hats off to those guys, and we couldn't be more grateful to be part of it.
Hi, I'm Rob Willis with Calgary Harley Davidson. We're here today, Sunday, for the Bikes and Bulls events. It's kind of in conjunction with our Rally in the Rockies events, which goes from the 13th to the 21st down at Calgary Harley Davidson. We've got a lot of stuff going on there all week, rides every day, poker runs, vendor booths, all kinds of stuff. This is our first year tying in with the Bikes and Bulls. We got some fast bikes on the track. We brought a couple of our electric bikes out. Seem to be doing really well. A couple of our turbo bikes. And it's just a great day.
Eric Sum.
And you are with Calgary Harley
I'm with Calgary Harley Davidson CHD Customs and the Rally in the Rockies 2021.
And what are you guys doing out here at the Airdrie Bikes?
I don't know, but we're having a ton of fun. We're racing some drag bikes, we're racing some street bikes, and we're racing some electric bikes. It is freaking awesome.
The electric bikes are an absolute blast to watch.
Unbelievable. I grew up watching the Jetsons, and I'm actually having the time of my life. That bike is so fast.
And what is your favorite aspect of the Rally in the Rockies?
You know what? It's about riding. It's about meeting people. We got every day is a different day. It's not a challenge. It is a fun time to actually just get out there and enjoy the province. Try things like drag racing. Like, it's just fantastic.
It's amazing how versatile and how varied the event is. You have all kinds of riding clubs helping you out.
It's not about help, it's about everybody meeting other people that are from outside provinces and possibly countries next year. Come out, join up with the best people that know how to ride this province and the best routes, the hidden gems and the hidden secrets of riding in Alberta.
There you go, that's what it should be all about.